So here's some Lancer slices, 8 ounces of Lancer slices. Mystery Pipe got me thinking about Lancer slices again. No, he was smoking Squadron Leader, that's right. Well, this is Lancer slices, so take it or leave it. See, it's flake tobacco, broken up a bit, not too much. I don't want a real big bowl this morning. Although, you know what, I always break up a little bit more than I need. So what I do is I just kind of work it between my fingers, and it just, wow, smells like what? Almost like ripe apricots in a way. I mean, it's just syrupy almost. Oh. But it doesn't ever taste quite like it smells, even the non-aromatics, although they're closer, I will say. So I just kind of break it up until it's approximately what you would expect from ready rubbed tin tobacco. And then just kind of, the bigger the chunks are, the slower it'll burn, depending on the moisture of the tobacco. And you know, you can always let this sit out for a bit and dry for a day or a few hours or whatever too, depending on your climate. Since I'm in a moss grove up here, letting it sit out doesn't usually dry it out much. Okay, so this is Lancer slices. This is not Squadron Leader. I was thinking I would do this as a kind of a reply video to Mystery Pipe, who tried his first Squadron Leader and had some really fun things to say about it. And I want to expand on that a little bit as well. Let the sulfur burn off. Now what I do, that's what I consider a charring light. Then I just tamp it down a wee bit, just a wee bit. And you know, one reason I think I use my finger is I can feel the tobacco. And I can feel how springy it is. And I like that. I've never been afraid to get my hands dirty. It's nice. Again, it isn't quite the same as the bag aroma, shall we say. But the bowl of tobacco changes as it smokes through as well. So what starts out light and without a lot of flavor can develop into something rich and deep halfway through the bowl, and then turn into something darker and chocolatier and more caramelly with some burnt steak overtones, you know what I mean, towards the end. The aromatic tobacco I've tried is light at first, and then it goes to nothing. It's like the casing burns off or something. Then you're left with crappy burley tobacco, generally. Not my favorite thing. So anyway, Mystery Pipe. I hope you guys are taking a look at some of his videos. He's got the California youth thing. Now let's set the stage here. I'm 51, so I'm an old guy relatively, I guess. Certainly a different generation. And I work with all kinds of younger folks, and we have a great time. But there's 20-somethings these days have a certain, they're going in a different direction than we did. And, you know, this could be a really long conversation here, and I'd love to have it. Best with multiple guys sitting around smoking. That would be absolutely perfect. But mystery pipe just encapsulates kind of the best of the 20-something thing for me, because he's got a little of that kind of attitude of, you know, whatever, I'm not too involved in that. But he's got a real sense of humor too, and I just love it. I love it, and I welcome the young guys to what we're doing here, especially on YouTube. This is something special, and I think we all are realizing that. Thank you, Joffrey. I think that limerick thing was huge. That was great. Actually, never feel inadequate if your pipe goes out. So what? Anyway, I want to welcome all the young pipe smokers. It begs the question, why are we smoking pipes? I know when I was a kid, I would go down to the library and I would look through the stacks of the old Life and Look magazines from the 30s, 40s, 50s. I loved that style. You know, that, I don't know, World War II, Korean War, 50s, vintage style in everything, pretty much. Cars, but you name it. There's something about it that really appealed to me. So there is kind of a vintage thing, attraction with the pipe. Tamp it down a wee. And I am not having too much, a lot keeping this lit. I don't think that's at work necessarily for the younger guys. I hope they'll talk about it some. Sometimes you don't realize what's going on until you talk about something. I mean, that's the premise behind talk therapy, of course. But it's one of the great social advantages to sitting around getting high on nicotine, smoking our pipes. I mean, it's great. So, I'd be interested in why younger guys have taken up pipe smoking. I mean, it's relaxing. You know, I could blah, 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 go through all the lists, tick, 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 tick. Probably the least damaging form of nicotine enjoyment. Probably the most diverse flavor-wise, different tobaccos. There are the pipes, which are cool. You know, I mean, there's just so much. It's such a rich hobby. But, you know, there's just, how many of us, you know, 1/100% smoke pipes? Probably not even close to that, you know. So, it begs the question, why are we doing it? But I just wanted to say, these young guys are going to really, and women too. I mean, you know, I'm fine with that. I love it. I love the idea of that. Are going to really bring a lot to this. And I'm already enjoying it. So, welcome, and keep making videos and smoke with us. Welcome in. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it probably resuscitates it. So anything that you have broken up here and don't use in your pipe, you can certainly put back in the container. And then at the very end of the container, like there's a twig or something. I mean, that thing's a tough little thing, but maybe we'll give her a try anyway. So this is a Rogers Rarity pipe. Now that's not a brand that you might be familiar with. It's vintage, 50s, I'd say, perhaps 1960s, most likely 50s. Good quality pipe, obviously. Nice wood. There are a few fills. I wish they just would leave them as pits rather than fills. But that's just me. You know, styles change. So I just, you know, I don't know, you just get so it's springy but tamped in there a bit. I know there's science to that, but oh well. So then I'll just pour the rest back into my container. Or I'd leave it out if I wanted to smoke some more. Either way. And seal it up.